And good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios, for this weekend edition, Saturday morning coffee here on Rumble Studios for this 08.31.2024. Current time is 08:33 a.m. Eastern time here in upstate New York, the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside, where we're just hanging out. Decided to go ahead and do a weekend edition because there's some folks that said they were going to be on last night, and I stayed up and I slept right in this chair here. I thought you were going to be on last night, Tony. I was waiting up for you. But that's okay. That's you were probably busy doing something. And let's go ahead and turn this squawk box down here. But we do have the morning coffee as far as that goes. And it's the last cup. We got the cats. I was going to go live here before taking a shower. Showered. I haven't really had breakfast. I had some grapes and a banana and coffee here this morning and water, sort of a light breakfast and stuff like that. So, but I'm sitting here, slept in. We got up about 7 o'clock, so I did sleep in, but I didn't sleep that good. So, but I'm Fireman Rich, by the way, if you all you folks that are watching out there, as far as that goes, and at Fireman Rich here on Rumble Studios, at Fireman Rich over there on Twitch, on the Facebook, it's Richard M. Roberts. But the link is in the descriptions here, both on Rumble and over there on Twitch, as far as that goes. And I actually posted this to all my. There we are on Rumble, at Fireman Rich on Rumble, and the YouTube is this is the YouTube right here. That's the YouTube right there, just to get it out. Richard M. Roberts, and as far as that goes, and we're here this morning. Good to be here. I feel good about being here. We're not doing much. I asked, I did say good morning, Tony, to the missus. Ted was busy. Oh, he was busy. Yeah, I figured that much. So that's no big deal. I just to let you know, I was waiting for you. I took a nap yesterday. So on Thursdays, and when I know you're going to be up, and I thought it was going to be after 11, 12, and I said I can't stay up that late and stuff like that. But I know you're going to have something this weekend because we're getting ready for you to start the Bell Kings fantasy football. And for those people watching the replay, Tony D he came in here on what is it, YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble there. So I appreciate that. I guess that's a new thing we do now, right? Just to get you were one always saying that we do that just to let know, hey, it's connected and stuff there. So Tony D's in the chat right now, and so I'm taking. Are you at work, Tony, this morning, or are you off? So Tony D right there for Bell Kings fantasy football, as far as that goes. I don't know if because you came right in, so I'm wondering if you're not if you're not working, I'll pull your ass up here right now. I just got my regular stick that I got to do, which how come this isn't changing? Let's go ahead. I got it on the Rumble on the big screen back here. Your program. Okay, I gotta get another commercial and stuff like that. Okay, so but we're off and running here, and I'm not sure if Tony is if he's home. If he's home, I'll you know what? I'm going to send you the let me know, Tony. as far as that goes. But we're getting our day started here with the morning. Hashtag positive start today. Hashtag PSTTD on this last day of August. And what a month August has been. August has been a great. I'm off this week. Oh, so you're off. Oh, okay. Let me bring you up then. It's an automatic. I know you're off. I'm sending you a link. I'll send you a link, whether you take it or not. If you're at work, I won't send you the link. But if you're at home or you're out and about, if you want to come up, we'll be up here for a little bit here. I didn't have nothing to do else this morning as far as I was going to game and stuff. What the hell's going on with this? Should put this back on. On Twitch then, if it's not going to go to the broadcast. Come on, get me to the broadcast. Now I can see where all the freaking commercials are coming from on. Okay, we skipped out of it. We got another one. Holy shit! Tina wasn't kidding. There's freaking. Okay, there we go. We just skipped out of them. There they are. There we were on the Rumble. Tina, good morning. Tina coming in. I'm ready. Okay, stand by, Tony. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. We're gonna bring you up. We're gonna have some fun here this morning. This is off the cuff on the weekend edition and stuff like that. I've got everything planned, but we're gonna have Tony up here right out of the gate here. Let me get the link, Tony. Stand by. Copy link. And let me go ahead and DM that to you. Thank you for the heart there, Tony. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Saturday morning broadcast. Saturday morning. 08.31.2024 broadcast. Okay. And link is away, my friend. Link is away. And let's go ahead, park that there, get back over here and have Tony come up and stuff like that. So, but we're off and running here. And let's see, I'm off this weekend and I'm ready. Damn it. And then Tina, good morning, Tina. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you there. There you are. And here comes Tony now. He's gonna bust my ass now. There he is.
You said, shit, if you're not home, I'm gonna bring your ass up here. Get the hell up here.
I'm just saying, man.
I want to apologize to all of his viewers. He was not cursing until he started hanging around me. I'm going to apologize.
No, I didn't. Believe me. I had my salty sailor days when I was in the Air Force. Believe me, every other word before I met the missus was F this, F that, and stuff.
That was hilarious. Oh shit! If you're home, I'm gonna bring your ass up here. Get your ass up here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you work, yeah. I'm just, I just was spur of the moment. I was going to come up, and I said, oh, what the hell? I just sitting here. And lollygag, and I was just like, okay, let me go. I had everything set. I was getting ready to go. Yes, let me go take a shower real quick, and then I get the wash going. The missus, we don't have nothing really going. We're going to be ramming tomorrow and Labor Day, I guess. With I'm helping the missus out with the festivities that's going to take place here in the village Saturday or Monday,
right,
and stuff like that. So and whatnot. So. I just figure I'd come up here and hang out. I got the regular stick. I don't have to. I'm not following it here. That's it's sort of
good. You're good, Tina. Listen, you already know. If I'm off and he's off and we ain't got nothing to worry about, we're gonna act up. See, Rich been hanging around us entirely too long. He used to come on with a steady format. You stick to the plan. He started hanging around us. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say he loves to shoot the shit.
I liked it back in the going back to the Blab days and the Haps days and the even when I was on Periscope when they had that where you got three people coming in audio. I thought that was a great idea and stuff like that. But I like a good conversation and stuff because too many people, as you know, not there's just I don't think there's anything wrong, but it's how you look at it. They're always in their face like this. But at least we're face to face here and stuff like that. And as far as that goes. So how's your so you're off this weekend? That's good. That's a good thing. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, they actually we had a chance to finish everything up yesterday at work and get out early. I had a class to go to, so when I went to the class,
how many classes do you have during the course of a month and what you do and stuff? Is it as much as when you were active duty and stuff like that?
Well, it's the recertification classes, so they come on. It's not necessarily every month. It's just once a year you got to do certain gigs, and I don't know that. So we came out of class,
right?
And I told one of the guys that was in charge, because a couple of the normal heads weren't there. So on my crew, we had one of the other guys as alternate, and I told him I had the class. He said, "Okay, well, how long's the class?" It's going to be most of the morning to right about lunch.
Right.
He said, "We're going to get what we need to get done, and then we might call it. I'll let you know whether or not you can come back because you're here, so you're good." I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll be here. Let me know, because before the class is over, if y'all cut it, y'all cut it." It was right around lunchtime, and he hit me up. "You good?" I said, "You sure?"
That's cool.
Because I know we had. He said, "Yeah, we got most of what we need to get done." Actually, he said, "What we needed to get done, we got knocked out. So what's left, one can wait, or two, it's not that much of an issue compared to what is primary at the moment." Which I'm always grateful for that at work, because they don't do that all the time.
Yeah, it's a rarity. Yeah.
You got jobs every now and then, like even with the military, they'll throw out. You get 50.
Well, they have extra time. They say, "Well, we're going to get ahead of where we're at and stuff like that." So they're thinking more of that, because that pertains more to the mission.
We're at a good moment right now in my spot as far as how the cycle goes, if you will. So a couple of guys got out early. It's a reward for the work we've been doing. Not so much that we're hooking people up. It's just a reward for getting things done without any major issues. And in our job, there are issues. I don't talk about work much, but I do want to compliment us, because I always emphasize, and let me get on a soapbox for a minute. It is the morning call.
Go ahead. You're more than welcome, Tony. You know
whatever
that.
Job you are on, people need to learn to emphasize teamwork over "I don't need you around. I don't need nobody to help me. I don't need nobody watching me." The more people that take on the job, the faster it gets done, the easier your day goes, and the more of a relief you get out of where you're at, what you're doing, and then being able to go home. Because as a mechanic,
well, you're not. Let me emphasize this before you go for those folks that are watching. Tony is just not a mechanic. He's an individual that I know firsthand that works on aircraft, and the people that fly these aircraft, their lives are in their hands. So that's the importance. So I can't overemphasize that, because I was just a knucklehead when I was in the Air Force on a fire truck that would be observing this thing. And, I just look at it, not, oh, it's just a mechanic. No, Tony D is, I don't like, it's sort of short. It's like, no, you're not, you're, and what he's emphasizing, teamwork, is essence, the bedrock of any military organization. But go on, Tony. I just want to put that in, because I don't appreciate that. I really have high regards on what you do, because I've talked to many a pilot, and I know you have yourself and stuff like that. But it's just that you're turning a wrench. I say that, but it's a very important wrench. And I think even if you look at even a car mechanic, it's very important, because
I was about to say, every mechanic.
Safety is paramount.
For mechanics who work on vehicles, I work on airplanes. Auto mechanics, I get it if you're doing a job by yourself, but I don't care who you are, what you're doing as a mechanic. You can always use some sort of assistance. What most mechanics don't want to do is sit back and watch.
Well, let's come back to what you were saying, the teamwork.
Yes, and for me, where I'm at, the more people work together, the faster it gets done. And even we was in the military, I kind of learned that and taught that. Even when I worked at the dog track, as much as we were our own window with the customers, our own set of money or whatever, if you had a crowd, you needed more than just you. I've handled crowds by myself.
Right.
The more of us that were there, the faster the customers got through, the more satisfied the atmosphere was, and the more comfortable the atmosphere was. When with what I do, everybody has to check behind something that you do. Even if you do a job by yourself, somebody else has to still check it as well. You're certified on certain jobs. You can train on those jobs. And when I was learning, because I came in the military, I had no type of mechanical background whatsoever.
I had a general background of firefighting, but the aircraft rescue, it's a whole different dynamics and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's the thing. But that's
Those
one
guys
takeaway.
come in and they do something that they've done in their life. Your job, nobody was a firefighter before they came in firefighting in the Air Force.
For the most part, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
For me, I was always joined, and like I said, I'm on my soapbox, so I apologize.
No. There's no need for that. No.
When
That's
I came in and I joined the Guard, trying to get money to go back to college. And I was like, what jobs do they have open? We got this. And my recruit, I'll never forget, he said, I wanted to give you something more challenging. Don't do this. I want you to check this out. I said, okay. Because I'm willing to learn. And they always emphasize they will train you. Cool. If you don't mind training me, hell yeah, I'll go do it. Yeah. And the military will say that. People don't understand this about the military. They think you just go in there, you get a gun, you go over there. No, they will train you on the job. Yeah. And if you're willing to train me and I'm still getting paid, you damn right I'm gonna sign up. Right. So I signed up under hydraulics. I learned so much, it scared me. Yeah. I'm going to admit that on your show on all these.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about because your eyes are open, and as far as
you have no idea what goes
other jobs, and because
you
your job
is what goes behind what you're driving, how it was built, why it's designed that way, what it's supposed to do, what it does do that you can't do, how potentially dangerous. I had it. Hydraulics actually scares me. I was telling somebody about this earlier this week.
Again, if I could the people about hydraulics, as a firefighter, if an aircraft didn't have good hydraulics and they came in, they declared an in-flight emergency because they're either taking the barrier, which is those cables that are on the aircraft carriers. They have them on airfields at Air Force bases. So hydraulics is a very important system on an aircraft. It moves the flaps, brings down the landing gear, and a whole bunch of other things. If they don't have that, the pilot, as skilled as they are, then they come in and they hopefully they have a 10,000 foot runway to be able to land on and stuff like that. But
they got 10,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that for the people but it's the importance. And if Tony is doing his job, that means I get to sit on my fat ass out on the aircraft on a fire truck.
He has nothing to do all day as long as we do what's supposed to.
No, yeah, that's the thing. We're because we're a precautionary, and incidents, things do come up and stuff like that. But these systems and what Tony's saying is a specialty. On the aircraft, there's people that work on different systems and stuff like that. And hydraulics is one of them. I know you probably cross over on different systems there and stuff like that, because I think you also handle fuels also.
Yes, I'm gonna get to that next if you don't mind. I will get to that.
Go ahead, Tom.
I didn't know when people talk about hydraulics on cars.
Yeah.
Hydraulics is pretty much the wrong term.
Oh, is
Those are actuators.
Okay, so it's not a real
first things that hit me with what I was doing. I was like, oh,
really?
Yes, those are actuators. Those are not hydraulics, because you ain't using no hydraulics. You're using on cars probably what? Some type of, it's not necessarily hydraulic fluid. Right. Tina, I see what you're saying down there. Thank you for that. She says she respects all the Air Force. All the forces. So I thank her for that. Yeah. They're actuators. I had to learn actuators. I knew what a piston was on an engine. I didn't realize there was one in actuators. So terminology was one of the first things that hit me when I was going to school after basic training.
Right.
Specific words for specific components.
And they throw a lot of it at you.
Yes, to be properly labeled. Listen, I was like, I'm in a world of shit. Because there's no way in the hell I'm going to remember all this, nor am I going to graduate. Because it was not so much that it was mind-blowing, but if you're not familiar with what you're talking about, and like you can see it, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And if I learn anything, that's rule number 2 of being a mechanic for me. Rule number 1 was proper terminology. Rule number 2, being able to do what you say you're doing on your job, because as you get higher up in the ranks, you got to explain this to the senior leadership. Now, as you get promoted, you got to be able to talk what you've done, talk about what other people
articulate. And
articulate is a good word for us. For people who are not military, you have to talk about what you're doing. You have to talk about what other people are doing. You have to be
very specific too. In some cases,
you have to break everything down for the people underneath your rank in your shop, under your supervision, training, certification, everything. So all of these factors come in all the time. And I'm on this job when I first got in, my first 6 years, I'm not going to lie, I was enthusiastic, but I never thought I was going to be promoted. I'm going to get whatever promotions I get and I'll just call it. I'm out there on a job and I'm looking and I know what I was trained. But when I got there and I'm ready to go in and do it, like, it was like, oh, what's wrong? They said, you can't do that yet. I said, wow, we just went to school for this. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're not certified. I am certified. I got the paper right here. What the fuck you doing?
Oh, okay. So you were. They just didn't realize you're certified.
No, when you come out of school, yes, you finished it, but you're not certified and trained on that job at your location.
Okay. Your location. Okay, got you. I can understand it. Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, huh? They were like, no, we're gonna walk you through it the way we did. So and one guy here, he told me, he said, listen, take it easy. We know what you're talking about. I said, man, y'all told me to come home, be ready to work. Y'all don't want to hear that. I'm sitting here ready to go. You want to take a break? No, damn it, let's finish the
Yeah. It's just like we would have guys come into the, would get reassigned, get assigned and stuff like that. And they say, oh, I'm going to just get on. No, you can't get on the truck until you get certified on the flight line. Even though we know you can drive and stuff, it's part of that procedure. It's part of that, the step-by-step that you have to, even though I know you can drive
to calm you down from what you've learned to what you're about to experience. Yes.
Yeah.
So for the youth out there, when you all see this, learn this about any and every job you go to. You will be trained, you will learn, you will know, but they got to catch you before you make a mistake, because the minute you make a mistake, they can also terminate you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't follow that tech, you don't the old tech order. You don't follow that tech order, boom, you're getting the boot.
Well, not so much the tech order, but rehab was good. It's not so much the tech order as much as it is they're trying to calm your excitement. They want your enthusiasm. They want your ambition. They want your optimism, but you have to calm your excitement. That's the best way for me to phrase it. You might want to clip that right there. We want your enthusiasm. We want your optimism. We want your, what's the word I just said? It's enthusiasm, optimism, and your motivation. But we have to calm your excitement.
Yeah.
This is what new hires, the youth, the people coming on, this is what you got to realize. They're not holding you back, but you'll be so excited, so ambitious, and so ready. Trust me, your first mistake, they're ready to get you. And people will protect you. Your coworkers will protect you. People who have been there longer than you, they're going to protect you from losing what you got, because everybody already understands you want to be here. You worked to get here. You ready to take on whatever, but whoa, we got to show you the process. And I had to learn it. And that honestly, it took me a while, because I walked in the door ready. I was crunk. I really was. So hydraulics actually did terrify me with what I've learned. And then the amount of PSI, which is pounds per square inch for people who don't know, that you deal with hydraulic fluid when it's working, that you deal with.
What's the high on the systems? What's the highest PSI do you work on some of those?
The highest PSI I've ever seen was 3,000.
On an aircraft? Are you serious? I'm thinking maybe a couple hundred, 3,000. Holy shit! Oh, wait a minute. You're talking tires now?
No,
that's just a. Oh wow!
When that engine's going, 3,000.
Wow! That's something.
This is what I didn't realize as well. What's with the schizo was good, man.
Captain Rehab, our resident
rehab. I've had those mornings. But I gotta be careful. You can throw that on the screen. He's fine. You can throw that up there. You can throw that up there. Rehab's all right. I've seen 3,000 PSI even when we're testing, doing an ops check. I've seen 3,000 PSI. Yes.
Yeah.
There's actually a plane out there right now. And I don't know if I should say this.
Nah, be careful.
Let me wait on that one. Let me wait on that one.
Wait. Yeah. In doubt.
I haven't seen that in public, so I'm not going to say it. I haven't seen that online, so I'm not going to say it. But there is
we're talking about aircraft, folks. Tony's given his experience that he has working in the Air Force on F-15s and stuff like that at depot level, right? Which is a very important. Yeah, they don't put the average schmo in the. But did you hear about the F-16 that went down? Ukraine Air Force.
When?
Just in the last couple of days, they had one that
last couple of days. No, I did see
pilot didn't make it, so I don't know any particulars.
Oh, for real?
No, he didn't. There's no. indication of any pilot surviving and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering if it was, you know, with what's, we're not going to go into detail, but what's going over there. I know they have. I'm not sure how many 16s they got. Huh?
What was the story? Was it a Ukrainian one? Was it one of ours?
Oh no, it was AP. It was AP. It was several. It was on the national news too. I saw it.
No. The aircraft, the 16 that went down, was it one of ours or was it one of theirs?
Oh no, it was one of theirs. They just got the United States. They sent over. And they were in training in Germany for the last 6 months or so, and as far as that goes, and let's see, Captain Rehab. He goes, I almost went to Mass Barrier Depot. The barrier depot. That's I think you might. I'm not sure if you know it, Tony, but Smoking Schizo Power Pro. He used to work on the barriers on the flight line and stuff like that. So, and Power Pro, as far as his background in civil engineering there for the Air Force, as far as that goes. But yeah, I just thought that, you know, they just got those and they already have one that went, but just the fact that the pilot wasn't. They can't find the pilot. They found the wreckage, and there was no indication after that what the scenario was, what condition the wreckage was in. And usually, if you don't find a pilot, I'm just speculating now. Okay, it's just my, but maybe the pilots punched out somewhere where they haven't gotten to them yet. But if the aircraft is a total loss, that means it took a hit of some kind. And
yeah, they were in a conflict over this, so I'm expecting.
Yeah,
maybe, you know, it was for the conflict, but I know we just sent a bunch over there to them. We sent a bunch to Israel. We sent a bunch to Poland.
Yeah. So Poland. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Yeah, I know they've got they're flying the 16. I've seen that. Yeah. 16 seems to be the aircraft of, and then if you're, you know, an ally to the United States, you move up to the F-15 and F-35. The F-15 is still a freaking kick-ass, badass aircraft and stuff.
That's the one I work on. That's what I work on. Yeah,
exactly. It's just, that's been in the inventory for quite some time there. But
since the 70s. I think they actually came out the year I was born. I think they came out in 72.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which is hard to believe because when I first saw him in the Air Force, I was a couple years after I was in. After it was about 78, 79. I saw my first one. I go, holy crap! Look at that aircraft. And the first power climb it did when they take off, they love going into that power climb when they take off. It's like, oh my God.
They were the first. That's the first plane that could accelerate while going straight up.
Exactly.
When I was a kid, I remember.
And you see it. It's like, holy shit.
I remember reading all that because when I was in, I was still in Catholic school in New York, and I had a book on planes, and I was reading on all of them. I read on the 15, the 16.
Right.
16 was the most maneuverable. The 15 was the first that could accelerate vertically. The 111 was the most widely used because it do everything. That was my favorite plane. The F-111, that was my favorite. It could do everything.
That thing could fly. They flew. What was it saying there? It flies so fast. They wanted to put guns on it, but it
no, that was the SR-71. That was the SR-71.
Wasn't that the FB-111 too?
No.
Okay.
The F-111, no. That was a swing wing.
Swing back wing. Yeah.
They called it the Aardvark. The SR-71 was the Blackbird. That's the one when it flew so fast.
And as far as from a fire department standpoint, egress on that, because it's a pod, they don't punch out. It's a pod. That was probably, I was scared. There's too many things that went wrong. You could hit the wrong thing and you're going with that pod and stuff like that. But they had up here, it was Plattsburgh Air Force Base up there in Plattsburgh, New York. That was an FB-111 base.
Yeah, the 111s, I love that plane. Medium range, swing wing. Could be a fighter, could be attack, could be reconnaissance, all of that. And that was like
Captain Rehab. They used that cartoon too. Arthur the Arthur. Yeah, they've used it. I've seen it in their patches. They've used it in the patches and stuff like that. So it's already been done, Captain Rehab. I've seen the patches. But the FB-111, that was sort of the prequel or prototype to the the B2 or B1, I should say.
I think they were around the same. No, one of the
no, they were. They almost squashed the B1 under Carter, and they still had the platform flying out at Nellis, And it wasn't until Reagan came in that was a big push to replace. It's supposedly been the replacement of the B-52, but the B-52. I'm just seeing an article the other day. They're slapping more. They're slapping brand new engines on those on the B-52s.
People still want them.
They're a freaking hell of a platform. You know, standoff platform. What's that? Told me she was the original. Okay, the riveter lady and stuff like that. I'm not going to put that up because I just realized the name and stuff like that. They're Rose.
I was an idiot, but yeah, I want to push out to the youth, man. You get somewhere.
Yeah, but you're saying
learn
as far as training,
learn what you can. And even for me, hydraulics scared me. I learned hydraulics and pneumatics, so it went down technically that I was hydraulics.
No, but you were saying what is the difference then? There's actuators in a car, but what makes it different on an aircraft? You were saying you didn't really.
Not so much that they're different, but we use the word wrong. When you see car and you see hydraulics, they're not hydraulics, they're actuators.
Okay.
And I was sitting here like, and my instructor, he sort of looked on my face. He said, "Yeah, that's exactly what it is." He said, "By terminology." I said, "Okay," and I had to start learning terminology. Even when you do your CDCs, when you got to pass these tests, you got to get the terminology correct. Yeah, and that's what gets people. Yeah. It's not, you know what I'm saying. No, you got to get the words right. And that's the pain in the ass for me. That was what pain in the ass in the Air Force. But I noticed all the branches do that. Terminology is key. I did that for about 6 years, mainly back shop. The pilot, that's what I'm going to tell you earlier. When the pilots talk to the mechanics and they emphasize everything to the mechanics, those are the crew chiefs. Those are the frontline mechanics. We're in the back. I'm always in the back. I was never a crew chief. And people need to realize.
You weren't? You never made.
I never wanted to go crew chief. No, that school was too long. I didn't want to go.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was too long. I actually qualified to be E&E, which is electrical and environmental systems.
Right, environment. Yeah.
School was 8 months to Shepherd. First, I ain't even trying to go to Shepherd. Second, I'm not trying to be out on damn 8 months. Hell no.
That's Shepherd Air Force Attack. My friend that I went to fire school some 45 years ago. He's the fire chief there still, and we know
it's a training ground. But it was I wasn't trying to be gone that long. Yeah. And even after I got in,
how long was the tech school for crew chief? Or the chief?
It was months, and then there were 2 or 3 different locations.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say it's one of those. Okay, yeah. That's an intense. So you go to multiple locations. That's a pretty intense.
From what I remember, and trust me, they need it. They do need it because of what they're responsible for, and they're the ones that got to do so many of the Q&As. So I went into hydraulics first. That test stand scares the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. The mules scare the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Even when I learned what was in there, I was like, and my instructor said, "Yeah." And I was.
Now, what are they using for fuel? Are they still using a JP8, or is it a higher? You know, because I know they're not using JP4 anymore because they got rid of that.
They're not using JP4 anymore. They're not using JP8 that I know of, at least on what I work on. They're using another. They changed the name so much. I don't even remember.
But it's not a very volatile fuel. I take it as far as because I know the JP8 when we use it when we use it for.
Don't make me lie.
Yeah, I just remember JP8 when they got away from JP4 because JP4 you could sneeze on it and it would ignite. But JP8 when we had a contaminated fuel and we would do a training, because fuels guys would, we would get their contaminated fuel and we dump 1,000 gallons out in the training pit, and you'd be sitting there for like 5 minutes with a blowtorch on it before it would start catching. But once it get caught, it would really flame up and stuff like that. To simulate our training fires and stuff like that.
And
so
I really
JP4, you could light a match and you could be 2 feet away. And you could flick it up in the air, and before it dropped to the ground, the thing was already ignited.
Yeah, because of the fumes.
The fumes, yeah.
Me, the fumes it doesn't even matter what the flash point is. It's the fumes. And I've learned that because when I cross-trained the fuels after my first 6 years, they spoke on flash points and all of this and all of that. And they'll show the video. A dude will pour a can, wait a little bit, stand a good distance away, hit a lighter or throw a match at it, and the air around it. There's a video on YouTube. This guy had put some fuel on a bunch of leaves and stood back and like threw a match at the thing. And you should have seen the air around it ignite.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just an explode. That's where you get the explosion and stuff like that.
Yes. And when these planes fly, you got to realize they'll be low on fuel. but they'll be heavy on fumes.
Fumes. They're flying on fumes. Yep. That was big time with the JP4, but the JP8, it was something in the engine that would compress the fuel a little bit more to refine it down to that they didn't really have that flying on fumes anymore with the JP8. Was it, they said it was a safer fuel or something like that. I don't know what the reason was.
Be more environmentally safe. A lot of
the
environmentally safe aspect of it. Even when you see the chemtrail, that's a whole nother story.
Yep.
You see it in the head. All the planes, it's a mess. But I changed the fuels, and fuels and hydraulics sometimes work together. So the career fields were compatible for me. So
right.
Fuel systems, hydraulic systems, and not necessarily air conditioning, but pneumatic systems. Right. I've got 3 under my belt. So, and where I'm at now, being depot, we actually work it after everything's drained, taken off. We do the rebuild of the structure. I've done engine install and removal. I've done flight recovery, flight takeoff.
That's down at Warner Robins, Georgia, Robins Air Force Base. And I just saw something in the news. I guess they had the 70th anniversary of the C5 or the C-130 down there. They had the anniversary flight. I put that on my.
That is the workhorse.
Yeah, that's
that plane is the work. That plane ain't going nowhere. That plane is not going nowhere. They use it too much globally.
Right.
That thing is not going nowhere. That one in the C-17, they'll be around for a minute.
Right. That's let me bring that up here. This
sure.
Post here. Let me bring it up because it's significant. Because as soon as I saw it, they had it was a thing down there in at Warner Robins, and as far as so people know what a C-130 looks like, because some people don't realize what it's.
No, they don't realize what each plane is. They don't.
Yeah. So there it is, right there. Robins Air Force Base recently hosted the 70th anniversary. I'm thinking, holy shit, that's been around for a while, as far as that goes. Down there, since its first flight back in 1954. That's before we were all born. Holy crap! I flew on this aircraft quite a few times, man.
Yes,
you talk about, probably one of the last times was the worst. We were going from Yokota Air Force Base down to it was all the CE, civil engineering, a good portion of the squadron. We're going flying down to Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, and for red flag exercise. It's base survival and recovery from war and stuff like that. But we're out in the jungle there for about 2 weeks or something like that. But I remember we're flying into Okinawa, and the guy that was like two seats down there, where he starts, he gets a little airsick, and he throws up into his helmet. And you figure, oh, that's not too bad. No, but it's such a close, it's a pretty good bit back end. But once it just permeates throughout. Everybody couldn't wait for the freaking back door to drop, and everybody's running off because everybody else is just holding it in. But that's the one lasting memory I had of.
If I'm not grateful for anything in all of my 20 years in the Air National Guard, none of us ever did that. Let me mark that down.
Oh no, you never. None
of us got air sick.
I've been on one quite a few times. You got the web. It's not the most comfortable for long term and stuff like that. But I've had short hops on it, the TDYs that I've been on various things and stuff. It is a workhorse, though. Just the fact that it's been around since 1954, and I think they're coming out with the 130Js that are made down your way. They're manufactured down your way. They come out of the Lockheed Martin plant there in Georgia, as far as that goes. The J models, they look nice. They
J
are
models,
nice.
And Lockheed Martin's in Atlanta. They got branches everywhere, but I think the main one's in Atlanta. But the J models are the C-130s. The M models are the C-5s.
Yep.
That's the ride you want, but it takes such a long runway and a lot of fuel. That's why the 130.
I think the C5s are made out in California, though, aren't they? Or Texas?
I'm not sure. We got them. We got them in my place for depot.
Yeah.
But and we're not the only depot location, but they're here. So I see a bunch of them all over the place. And like I said, when I work on the 15s, everything's taken out.
Right.
Where I'm at.
Right. You strip them right down.
Well, they're stripped down by the time they get to me. I have stripped them down. I have removed them. I have reinstalled. But where I'm at primarily for the past 8-9 years, I'll say, I'm doing the rebuild with everything out of it, and putting everything back in.
Yeah.
On the fuselage side for the most part. I put the wings back on, stabilators, rudders,
And this, what you were saying earlier, you're not just doing this yourself. You got other people where you got to work as a team, and you got to know what the other person's doing and stuff like that. And
I mean, I got my specific area, but there's always like 30, 40 of us on there working.
Yeah, and everybody's watching out for everybody as far as doing that stuff like that.
It's because we be moving.
Oh yeah.
My director was just telling us the other day. He said, "Y'all be huffing." Yeah, we be huffing. It's I literally am rebuilding fuel tanks.
Yep.
Putting wings on. I've taken them off.
I'm still trying to visual, just because I know you have to go inside the tanks to inspect them and stuff like that. I don't know. I'd be claustrophobic.
When I first got out there,
were you? So yes. You got over that and stuff like that. I got over
it, yes. And that came from trusting people I work around, because I got down here. I was sitting here looking. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers will kill me, and they'll leave me here. Won't nobody know nothing. Won't nobody do. I'm like, but it wasn't that. It was we don't want the negative stigma on our work area, so we got to do it like this. We got to do it like that. I mean, I've done the ops checks. I've done the final assembly, putting all the panels back on after everything. I've done all that craziness, and it's fun. There's no glass ceiling to what I learned. Is what I emphasize about my job. There's no glass ceiling to what I learned. Certain things may become redundant, but with everything that we do, with the excitement every day, we're always doing another area. We always got to refresh our mind on what we're doing. And they're always making so many changes for specific reasons. So once again, with some jobs, people will max out with their money or they'll max out with their experience, but there's no glass ceiling to what I'll learn.
They're not, because like I said, and even those things, I know there's, I think that's any job. You think you know everything, and you know what? You don't, because it's you got to refresh yourself. You got to be on top of your game and stuff like that on special fields and all that, as far as that goes. And
I hate rehab.
So you got rehab. Tony, after last week, the other day there, he's got me keyed in. It's like, do I want to hit that
exactly?
You can't. not that I, it's up on Twitch and stuff. But Captain Rehab, some of his comments are. See, this one I feel safe in pinning when you're laughing, because I know you're having a good time here.
I can't let that do sometimes.
Listening to us two knuckleheads and stuff like that. But for the folks that are watching, Captain Rehab, we've known him.
You can't remember what he said.
What's that?
You can't
remember what he said. No, see, that one I can put up. How come that's? Oh, there it is. It's right at. I got to do something here. As far as I got another one of those.
Don't worry about that. Those are
there's sometimes I can't remember what I said when I'm broadcasting Captain Rehab. So you and the comments and stuff like that.
But, but I'll be on his case because he can't remember what he said, but he typed it on the screen. You idiot.
All you have to do is look back on the screen. Exactly. No, this is good insight as far as that goes. So is this I have fond memories. I know I can never go back to going back into the Air Force, and I'm not going to do that. Oh, I wish I could go back now. It was a good time. I feel blessed that I was able to serve and stuff like that. I have high regards for people that are still in and
retired. Rich, I'm lucky I retired because I never had any plans on retiring when I first got there. Big Juice was good.
Hey, Big Juice, what's going on, Steve?
And when I became a father, was one of the
when you start getting a family, that's a whole different dynamics in the military. Because I married the missus about halfway through my career at about 10, 11 years, and it was okay when the kids were when the two kids they were born and stuff, they were small, but once they got older and stuff, and I got close to 20, I think it was like maybe a year and a half to almost 2 years before I was hitting the 20, I was thinking, I'm going to, I think if I would have made, because I had high year tenure, and you've heard this before and stuff. So when high year tenure, for those people watching, when I get up to 20 years, if I didn't make my next grade, I had to get out. And I was more than happy once I went through I had 2 times to test. Probably if I would have made my next grade, E7, because I retired as an E6, a tech sergeant. And that's because of a bump in the road back in Korea.
There's always a bump. And I got told.
And I thought I put me behind my my progression and stuff like that. But I had 2 times tested and I missed it. You know, and the second time tested, I missed it by 5 points. I said, that's it. I got to accept it, and I accepted it. And just that I worked for a fire chief, Chief Sanders, God bless him, and Godspeed, sir. That there was a year before I was going to get out, he called me in and said, "Hey, Robbie, we want you to stay in." And I said, we got you in, and it's already been approved, and we just need to. I said, "Sir, Chief," I just said, "I'm already working on retirement right now." He says, "You can't do that." He's a little pissed off, but then talking with him, and it was a good long hour. I was talking with him, and he didn't try to convince me. He knew that I was thinking of the family, and when you start thinking about the family, that's basically it's time to. So it's just one of those things that I could, and I look back on it. If I would have took that step promotion, I probably would have been more away from the family the next couple of years because of what was coming down the pike at that time.
You have to take family into account because a lot of people don't have time for it, and that was something I didn't want to do. I wanted to be there. I wanted to do what I needed to do, but also wanted to come home to the family.
Right.
I really didn't. It.
Now, when you were active, were you married?
No, I wasn't active. I was guard the whole time.
Okay. So even guard, being married in the guard.
I wasn't.
Well,
married.
you were active guard, weren't you?
No.
You were just okay.
I was traditional, but I did a lot of volunteering.
But you had a lot of deployments and stuff because it just seemed when the stuff started hitting the fan after Desert Shield, during Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the guards were being utilized more than I had ever seen in years past.
More people don't know that. They don't know that.
No, that's the thing. I saw them. It's just like I saw the same group of people when I was at Yokota.
Yeah.
And this is just in Yokota, Japan. Okay, to come and deploy. And then from there they were deployed. They went back to the States for a month and then they got deployed again.
Yeah. See, for me, I was traditional. I didn't really start doing any trips till when my oldest son's mom told me she was pregnant. We weren't married or anything. We were just together.
Right.
I was like, okay. Because I was turning down trips. I said, no, I'm not going because I'm gonna just stay here. I'm just doing my 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, and I'm gonna call it. She said she was pregnant. I said, okay, if something opens up, let me know. That was when I first went to Vegas in 2000. I had no idea how big that city was when I first went. I had no idea. We came back from that. Then I went to Turkey that same year. We was out there for a couple of weeks.
How was Turkey? How'd you like Turkey? Was it all?
I didn't.
You didn't like it?
No. But it was a reality check to me.
Right.
We got over there. That was my first time leaving the country.
Oh, okay.
So we got over there and I understand poverty at another level. And I will say this to everybody. I saw poverty at another level. I saw living conditions at another level. I saw military at another level. It was an awakening for me. There's dangers for us in other countries.
Yeah.
There are conditions over there we had better be grateful we don't live through over here.
Yeah.
And this is what I saw. Yeah. This is my personal experience.
That's the one thing. People that have gone overseas, even if they're going over there, living abroad and stuff, you get a real rude awakening, especially those conditions. What you're saying, I've seen that myself firsthand, and it is literally a rude awakening. It's like, wow, geez, it could be the worst, almost the worst here in the United States. It's like, you know what? It's really not that bad compared to other places.
I'm gonna be dead up honest with people. I say this all the time. We went on a trip to one of the spots on the weekend. There was a group of us that was gonna go. They said, people, if y'all want to go, y'all go. And I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about going? And when they said, I said, y'all check something out. We took a bus ride. It was a few hours from the base to go to the location. We were going to be good. So we rolled out there and I'm looking around. We actually went to, and let me know if I'm talking too much, man.
No, you're good. You're good. We're just hanging out, Tony. So this is like the old days of being on Haps and hang out.
Yes, it is. We went to, in Turkey, there's a city called Tarsus. I had never heard of. We actually stopped there. And I fell asleep. I woke up. They said, we're in Tarsus. So, okay, where's Tarsus? This is where Peter was born. Peter in the Bible. I said, no shit. So I looked, there's a well there. I took a picture by the well. I didn't realize anybody from the Bible was that far up from down where Jerusalem and Nazareth was. So I'm tripping out off of that. We went to another spot called Heaven and Hell. It's literally a hole in the ground. You can walk down that bad boy like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Steve, everybody in the service wants to get stationed in Hawaii. It's just not Tony.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
That's
go
true.
ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
That's true. So we went to the Heaven and Hell place. Okay, cool. There was a camel out there. My aunt literally told me before I went over there. She said, "Tony, if you can get a picture on the camel, you riding the camel, I will be through." So when I saw the camel, I said, "Y'all, somebody hold my camera." I went over there. I got on the camel. I was like this, and I see that picture. I brought it back to her. But we finally got to where we were going. We passed by these buildings in the city. There was a building, literally, no walls.
Right.
I saw a lady in there with her kids hanging up her clothes. I said, I will never complain about any apartment I stay in anymore, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, it's a
These
lasting
kids are
memory.
sitting there playing on the floor. She's hanging up clothes. There's no fucking walls on the building.
Yeah.
And we worry about what we got over here. Let me tell every last one of y'all right now, whatever housing condition you have, I'm gonna need you to improve on it and shut the hell up compared to what they got going on.
Not as bad as they say it is, but
we got homeless people over here. Yes, we got situations over here, but for some reason that hit me. I said, yeah, when I get back home, I don't care if I got an apartment, I'm living good with central air, with enclosures, with plumbing, with electricity, with the food. I'm not complaining about nothing. I will be good.
Yeah, they're living day to day over there in some circumstances.
Yes, but it was just another level of, and we have homeless here who got boxes, blankets, only shopping cart. I got that, but something about that incident just hit me for some reason. And I'm like, okay. So we and the guy that was a tour guide, he spoke Turkish and English. He was interpreting for us. He was telling us some stuff that's going on. Man, listen, y'all take care of what you have here. Stop BSing. That goes to all of us.
Right.
I've got my moments too. Stop BSing and get yourself to a situation where you're able to help somebody instead of looking down on somebody. Just being honest. What's going on around the world? Some places are worse than what we have. Some places are just as similar. Other places, we've got it worse than some people, but we also got it better than a lot of people.
Oh yeah, the vast majority. We have to improve on certain things in this, but compared to other countries, other countries are no bigger than some of our states here and stuff like that. Right. But when you take it all encompassing, that's when people say, well, the homeless and with other things as far as people not really having a roof. Yeah, it's bad here, and but to the extent that what you've seen over in Turkey and what I've seen in many military seen when they visit these other countries. And the thing is, I seen that when I was in, and it was basically, it didn't dawn on me until after I left. And when I came back to the States and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, that's when, for me, that's when it was right in my face. It's like, man, I'm never gonna, I don't care, where people, this country is a great, and that's what I continue to say. This country is a great country, and it's that we have problems just like anything. People shit on it. Well, try and do that at some other, you'll be, so that's another aspect there too, and stuff like that. It's just one of the takeaways for me being in the military is being overseas and seeing that, because you try and explain it, but I still get the weird looks. People haven't been out, and even the missus, she's been with me as far as going over to Europe and over to Japan before, and she even says that, and that's Italy, and those are countries that are pretty, you figure, are pretty modern and stuff, but she can see the little things that you're just describing there. That
there are impoverished areas in every country. Yes, we didn't go to where it was prominent in Turkey. Where I was at, I wouldn't say it was prominent because I didn't go to the major city. I was just out in the areas.
Yeah.
And yes, Tina, they get me too. It hurts me looking at homeless folks.
It does.
I hate driving by them and not being able to do nothing.
Right.
I hate doing that, and because I know when I was down, and I know people that helped me. It bothers me. I agree with you 100%. And I have to say it. I actually said it on the broadcast. There are some homeless people out there scamming.
Yeah.
I was never brought up to believe that until it started making the news about 15 years ago, from what I remember seeing. But I want everybody to take what you have a little bit more seriously. We have to calm our greed. We have to, based on what's going on.
Yeah,
we're overpopulated. That's fine, but we're also surplus. A lot of us are surplus, and we can help. But there's also people out there.
I think we're overpopulated in cities and stuff like that, because
only the cities. I agree. Only the cities.
Because, you know, you look at the use even here in the United States. You know, we have a lot. You know, compared to like Japan, they use like 30% of their man mass they're able to live on 30% because everything else is all mountains and volcanoes and stuff like that. And
Yes.
they're on top of each other there in the Tokyo, even out in the suburbs. I mean, they're when you get out in the country of Japan, it's like, wow, this is nice, but the property's almost more expensive out there than it is in the city.
Yeah, you still got to provide. You still have to allow the nature to be over the construction that you want. I've never been to California, Big Juice. Never.
Yeah, I've been there in passing. I've been through Travis Air Force Base, Los Angeles International, going overseas and stuff. The only time I can honestly say I was in California, I had a chance before departing out to Korea out of Travis, that I got into San Francisco, went to San Francisco, beautiful. But now I don't know if I'd want to go back but then again, that's in certain sections of the city. It's just like going down New York City. New York City, you could go to the most beautiful parts, but 3 blocks over it's a dump. It's like
DC
that.
too.
That's the thing about the city. Yeah, same thing with DC. Yeah, I went to Washington. It was beautiful as far as around the monuments and stuff, but there's as far as that goes, and Baltimore. And when I first went down there, the people I was staying with, I ended up driving down there as the first time driving down there, and I'm in a section of Baltimore. I just, where am I going? And there's a cop. I asked the cop, and he just looked at me and said, "What?" He gave me that look. It's like, "Why are you here?" So, and I'm like, well, I'm just trying. Well, that's on the other side of the city, my friend. You need to, here's the directions, and you need to, don't stop anywhere until you get there.
Speed right now.
And that told me something about Baltimore, because I that's when he said that. I'm looking, it's like, I've got a bunch of eyes on me right now.
Yes.
And this is in the middle of this is like in the afternoon and stuff. But that's the way the city is. The city is like that. I was aware of that because, my father, he was born and brought up down there in Brooklyn and stuff like that. And I know as a kid going down there that I would hear him tell stories and stuff like that. So I'm not saying I'm street smarts or anything like that, but I had common sense to know that, you have different living environment. And the city living environment was a lot different than the country living environment.
Absolutely. I had to learn the country living when I moved to Alabama. I was like,
oh, did you? Well, yeah.
You want to talk about a culture shock?
Yeah.
That was. I got lucky. I tell everybody all the time, I got lucky. This is not bragging. When I'm up here sharing stories, this is not me showing off.
Yeah.
I got lucky.
Well, I think you said you liked Alabama though, didn't you?
I grew to get comfortable. And I learned this wherever.
Well, you went to school. Did you do some of your schooling there in Alabama too?
I went down there for college, dropped out.
Yeah.
Tried to work and take care of myself, still living up under my mother. That got crazy. Then I joined the Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And made the Guard work with the job that I had. I made the 2 work for 10 years.
Right.
I made it work for 10 years, and then started doing my TDYs as a security forces augmentee for 6 years.
Right.
Then moved out here.
So you were an SP before you became a Jet Mac?
I was who?
Security.
I was an augmentee. That came after.
Oh, an augmentee. Oh, okay.
Did the augmentee gig for 6 years.
Did you do TDYs at all? Okay. So you're out there protecting the resources. Okay.
I was.
See, cops and fire department guys never got along at any base you were at.
Well, where we was at, we didn't have a problem.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk to them, but we would see each other, say what's up, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. Big Juice. If he was in security forces, he did.
Oh yeah, I carried 2.
Yeah. You were fitted out and stuff like that. That was the one big thing as far as when I was in and I got out. The only time I carried a rifle is if we would deploy TDY, and that was just simulated in a sense. Even though I had my moments as being the fire department armorer, because I was designated, one of 3
Yeah.
people. In the fire
One of y'all
department.
got to have something. One of y'all got to
But
have
now, when I got out, and then some of the guys that I supervised and trained, and they ended up making a good career. A couple guys I didn't think were going to make it, but they ended up going the distances there. And I would get email from them and stuff, and they have a picture, and they have their freaking M16 and sidearm, and I'm thinking, holy crap.
Yeah.
Is that as soon as that's over there in Afghanistan? As soon as you stop down in country,
Afghanistan, man.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go in 2014,
yeah,
and couldn't make it because of my health condition. Afghanistan was something else because the guys that I was over there, the guys in my unit, they went, and when they came back, they said that one was a little bit more than Iraq was.
Yeah. That's even in peacetime over there and stuff like that. There were situations that they had, and I've had individuals have been over there telling me that the movies that come out, they're very subtle compared to, there's days that go, the days go on. It's just like, okay, just an ordinary day. But when the shit hits the fan, it literally hits the fan over there.
I was in Iraq when the second Iraq war started. We was already over there. Right. Some of the guys were carrying out everybody, but I don't miss that experience.
No,
that was my first go around. I volunteered to go back 2 more times afterwards, because when the guard goes, some of the active duty guys have a chance to come back.
Right. To give them a break. Yeah. The rotation.
We did. Yeah, we did the rotation, go over there, help them out for a little bit. That's why my tour was so short. We didn't have to stay over there, but we could volunteer to go for the amount of time allowed for state members, which is what the National Guard is. Were you allowed? No. One location allowed it controlled, but for the most part over there, no.
Oh, very controlled. Yeah. It just but most of your Middle Eastern countries there, they do not allow it at all.
At all.
As far as that goes. And if you get caught, you might as well kiss your career goodbye, because there's no that's almost as bad as smoking a joint or something like that. Just that drinking bit that didn't fly it and stuff like that. Most of the TDYs that I was on were able to drink, unless it was a closed camp and stuff like that. As far as
alcohol and menthol weren't really allowed over there.
Yeah.
For us. That wasn't so much of an issue for me as much as me just wanting to get back home.
Yeah.
Once I was
over I think there. when you're on those TDYs, if you don't see it and you don't have it, you don't really want it.
No, you want it. You just can't do it over there.
Well, you just live with the fact, okay, I got to wait till I get done with this TDY and stuff like that. But if it was available in certain times, well, just like I remember my their TDY when this is back early 80s there over in I was TDY for 90 days over in Sicily, summer of 82. And when Reagan was deploying the ground launch cruise missiles, and Greenham Common was the first one that came online, Comiso, which is down in Sicily, they were specifically picking people because where I was thinking about getting out, and I was going through Grand Rudman as far as I almost got cross training out, and I ended up getting an assignment after that because I just come back from a remote, but I got another remote. Time wise, I would have been at Hanscom for a year. I was going to Comiso because there was 2 other E4s. One was getting out, and one he wasn't really had a good record. So I said, "Sorry, Rich, you have no choice. You have to go." So, it's like okay, and I was just glad I secured an assignment after I got back because I could stay as a firefighter. But anyway, when we were stationed over there, a bunch of firefighters get together, and it's a open. We had Quonset huts. Was thank God for the commander. The base commander there, and air conditioning because it was hotter than it was 105, 110 during the summer there in 82. And we'd have guys that were on duty and off duty, and we were on our we had our little patio and stuff outside our hut. And some guys were drinking, and some guys that say, well, I don't really I feel like we would swap with guys. It's far, okay, yeah, I'm not drinking. Go ahead. You're off. I'll take. We just do a quick swap because the fire chief we had there, Sergeant Holton, good guy. Yes. He's probably no longer alive. He's a good. I met him a couple times during my career and stuff. It was always Ed Holtman, and he'd say he had no problem with that, just as long as whoever was on duty, I don't want to hear, no
Yes.
alcohol. So, even if he had 1 or 2 drinks, you couldn't swap with that guy. And everybody knew that was you didn't want to break that cardinal rule as far as that goes.
You do not want to break that rule.
So, it just because, and there was nothing really to the site there because everything was holes in the grounds. They were still building the facilities and stuff like that. And we're just there for a presence, basically. And we didn't really have that much of a mission as a firefighter. So we backfilled the security forces there on the perimeter. We were responsible to do 3 or 4 perimeter inspections on the fence line there, as far as that goes. And so that's the one time I really got along with the security police forces.
Yeah, y'all had to work together. I mean, I did.
Yeah, you had to work together. Yeah, that's
I had
a big
to do active shooter with them when I was at Tyndall.
Oh
yeah, shooter training one day. So it was us.
Yeah.
The firefighters, the sheriffs. We had to do it together. Even a couple of EMTs were there. Shoot, that was fun. That was fun.
That
was fun.
In recent years, that's become more of a standard exercise and stuff like that. The main exercise that we had with the security forces, especially when I was over in Italy, because unofficially they didn't have any line items there, but they did as far as a forward base there at Aviano, was a broken arrow exercise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just like the movie. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. You just, they compromise a weapon and, before we would be standing by, but the security forces would go in first to make sure the area is clear. And then they would give us a specific time that we would have to get in and get everything set. And it was like a 3-minute time period once they gave the all clear. And there was one time which I was, because it's not that hard to put the wet stuff on the red stuff there, the hot stuff. And there was one time we got delayed. It was during a NATO TAC eval there at Aviano. The assistant chief, my assistant chief, Sergeant Perez, he didn't really get along too much with the deputy chief who was in the command center for the fire department. And so you could say it was Sergeant Perez's fault for delaying us a little bit, but we ended up all getting killed. It was a failure, which is only so. But there was a lot of heat and drama going on between these two because Sonny, who I knew when he was a buck sergeant years before that, he was really laid back. He'd have his parties there back in the day where there was alcohol there, but there was also the wacky weed there you could and stuff like that. So, but now he was a master sergeant and he was pushing to make E7, E9 or no E8, trying to make E8. And he wanted everything done by the book and stuff like that. To me, that's like, is he for real?
Yes.
And he went a little overboard. Sergeant Perez didn't really like that. So there was a butting of heads there and stuff like that. But it was funny because the evaluator, exercise evaluator says, your command centers. He says, no, you just said I was dead. So I'm not answering unless it's a real emergency.
Right. I don't want to hear it.
So I just remember that. And Sergeant Perez, he got chewed out by Chief Reif. But it was one of those chew up because I got chewed out by the Chief Reif before, as far as being a fire department exercise evaluator. We did something we weren't supposed to do, but he says he'd chew us out and he said, wow, we threw a ground burst simulator on at the training pit that was loaded with about 2,000 gallons of JP4 or JP. Well, JP8
you had before back then. Back then was JP4.
Yeah, but and he would chew us out, but then okay, that's done. Then he would go, How was it? Was it pretty cool? Because he would want to be there. And this is Chief Reif. He was probably one of the best fire chiefs I worked for. He was an E9. Great guy. I mean, I remember I was a staff E5, and it was before I made E6, and I missed it by like a point, maybe 3/4 of a point. I missed it by, and I was pissed.
It's that competition.
Yeah. Well, it's just that level there. And he took, he said, he goes, I remember he called me into the office there, and he just sat me down and he just said, "Hey, look, you're going to make it. Just keep a cool head." And that was a good, and that was one of those moments you really remembered while you're in the service that really meant a lot as far as that goes. And it molds you into part of the person you become and stuff like that. So
absolutely. When you realize what Colin Powell went through before he got to where he was.
Oh yeah.
Some of us don't know that everybody wasn't given their promotions or their rank.
Right.
People did work for it. Majority of them failed. Learning that failure won't stop you is something new. It was new to me because I was in college, and you're supposed to go. The progression never stops. When you go in the military, you don't think the progression. The higher up you go, the more difficult it becomes, and that is the truth.
The more education they throw at you as far as classes and all that. Yeah, you get swamped.
Experience matters. What you've gone through matters. Failures will matter. People acknowledge some of your failures. They watch your improvement on your failures. That's how you get promoted. Your experience is a factor, not what you're certified in, what you're training, and what you learned. Mm-hmm. The youth need to know that. Build your experience as well as your education.
Yeah.
Both of them are supposed to carry you, but one will damn sure carry you farther than the other. You will see that as you get up. I'm going to drop that. I've been up here now, so I got to go grab some breakfast.
No, you got okay. That's no problem. We've been talking for an hour and a half and stuff. Like I said, I'm cool with it and stuff like that. Just
that's my bad. I was like, man, I've been on a roll. I had to catch myself.
Oh no, you're good. What, you got a busy day today and stuff like that? Having a day off?
I just want to go get some breakfast. I'm hungry.
Oh, you having it? Okay, yeah. I really haven't had any breakfast anyway and stuff like that. But are you going to be on tomorrow?
I plan on being there today. I told Ted and Brian last night we were supposed to do a broadcast last night, but Ted was tied up. I'm available all day today.
Yeah, same here.
They want to get the draft done, and from what I'm seeing, most of the teams got their roster set. I'll do it today. I just want to see and I can't get verification out of the guys in the league, so maybe we won't have a league, but I'll just do a broadcast.
Do you have you got a full 10 slots?
No.
How many do you got?
I put 2 notifications out, trying to get verification on the membership, and I've only heard from about maybe 5 or 6 of us.
Oh wow!
So I mean, it's all good. If we don't have the league, we don't have the league. We can do a small league, and I'm quite sure we can pull some people with no problem. I'm not going to go above 10, but I want to have the round table first. I'm looking for me, you, Ted, Brian, Smoke's probably busy, but I want him there. I want Mike there, absolutely. The guys that's normally been on the broadcast is in the league. You and Mike are actually the guest hosts on there. I just want to fill it up and try and get everything situated. Because just to have the round table on the league, I really want to do that today. If we can get everybody today, that would be phenomenal. But I know Ted and Brian probably normally busy during the daytime, so it may be this afternoon. So hopefully, if and when they see this, I'll get some notifications.
Okay, I'll be popping in the chat. Like I said, today is sort of tomorrow. I got a few things.
Thank you for coming through. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what is it? Let's see. Let's catch up on the thing. Yeah, 9/11 is coming up, almost September. We can never forget that. Your birthday's the 13th, and we got a family member's birthday next week, and Tina's has to go and have a meeting there. Okay, thank you, Tina, for being here. And I'm just hanging out today and stuff like that. I was broadcasting Thursday night there before I came on the Ted Hicks's late night parent. It's like. I make sure I say that parent.
It's not parenting.
Parent. Was gaming. I bought some new content on a game that is like 17 plus years old at Guild Wars that I played before Lord of the Rings, the game I'm always squawking about. But Guild Wars is an interesting game, and there was an individual. What was his name? Lyman Coconut. Man, he was just helping me out. Yeah. Building my characters and stuff like that, and it was fun. I spent we spent more time setting up my characters and the heroes that I have, because you can have up to 5 or 6 heroes with your character to make them badasses with their skill set and stuff like that. And that was interesting. It's interesting because there's some things I didn't have. He said, "Oh, here, I'll get." You can to pay for. Oh no, I have here. He's giving me these the monies whatever they called it, the flames or whatever they call it, to pay for the things. And I'm like, that it's in game things, and he has probably a shitload, because this is a game that not too many people play anymore. But for me, it's still a fun game,
right?
And it's pretty, it's not as adventurous as an Xbox or a pair, because everybody's on the Xbox or PS5 or whatever that PS is.
Yes, they are.
But I like the traditional PC games and stuff like that, and that's one. So that was fun as far as doing that, and but just coming up here shooting the shit like we used to do back in Haps is always good to do. I wasn't sure if you were going to be available or something like that, so I got this stuff, but it's all secondary and stuff.
Yeah, I'm good during the day. I'm just waiting. You'll see me pop up.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I did get my on the broadcasting note. I did get my Rumble payment.
Told you you're going to do your campaigns.
Well, the thing is on the campaigns, and I gotta be. It's just that the fact now from where I'm at right now, I got to get up to 20, 25 viewers. Yeah, well, if I get them, I get them. It's just like I said, I'm one where that's available, but they did pay me out, and then with the Rumble or with the and I'm gonna put that into things here for the broadcast and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And I just wish X would. I'll still do that with X maybe sometime. I don't know. I got to look at that because I'm changing things up a little bit as far as where I'm posting. I did post this broadcast across the board on my multiple broadcasts and stuff like that. But I just being off the 3 or 4 days doing the things, I'm not really getting any more viewership as far as just posting it out on X and Facebook. The other ones are just like, okay, I like posting things. I figure if there's 1 or 2 people, it goes back to my old saying, if there's 1 or 2 people that see that, because there is a little bit of a response on those and stuff like that. But just getting up here, broadcasting as far as that goes, and talking with you, it's always a pleasure, and especially
have fun doing this. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. It's good. It's keeping the flame alive and stuff like that. I do dip into other broadcasts, and it's interesting how what I'm seeing, and I don't know if this is a norm, because you can, we're talking about monetization, people selling their swag, their wares and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, that's hard. That may seem easy, because I remember going through my T-shirt phase years back on grading T-shirts and stuff like that. So it's just interesting on how that. Okay, but I'm just tickled pink that I got a few bucks in the back pocket there from both Rumble and Twitch. So, and it's not, and I didn't do that much. It's not that hard. So, but I'm gonna let you go, Tony. And you said you'll be up later.
I should be. I'm waiting on that.
So those folks there it is, Tony D.
Appreciate it. That's my ex-handle.
Tony Tone. Tony Ton. I keep on saying Tony Tone. It's Tony.
You're not the only one. That's hilarious. I ain't gonna
163. Okay, that's where you can follow. Give him a follow. Tony's my brother, veteran, my good friend, and fellow broadcaster there. And so we're going to go ahead and exit stage left here, folks, and get the day started. And you all have a great Saturday. It's a long weekend here in the United States. It's Labor Day weekend. So enjoy your weekend. Play safe. Be safe. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Captain Rehab. And thank you, Smoking Schizo down there in Florida. Thank you in the chat. Thank you all for those that were watching, and thank you for the replays. Greatly appreciated. You all have a great one. Live life. Have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks. Bye.